Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up today, Brian McDermott has a new club. House Speaker and fellow Bolton Wanderers fan joins in the call for an independent council for Rugby League. And St. John's Illawarra star faces the repercussions. So we heard last week that RFL head Ralph Rimmer, interim chair of the Super League Ken Davey, and the other league heads in Rugby League were all meeting in the cause for realignment of all Rugby League in the UK and Europe as it stands. One interested observer was Sir Lindsay Hoyle, MP of Chorley, and also Speaker in the House of Commons. He was speaking in an interview saying that Rugby League is at a crossroads and an independent review could be the best way to ensure the sport's survival and success. Hoyle, who is a keen Warrington Wolves supporter, said in the interview, "I believe there is a great future, but we are at a crossroads," he told this week's Radio 5 Live Rugby League podcast. "Where we go from here, how we progress, we've got to make it a game that is not only what we want to watch in the north, but to get back in mainstream." After 2 years of what's been described as a civil war in the game, Hoyle believes that it should be the start of the talks to get Rugby League towards that mainstream status. He wants a greater range of voices, including in designing a vibrant future for the sport. "We've got to reinvent the passion for the game, but also sell it broader than we do." He said, "I think it's always worth listening to other people. I think an independent review does no harm. No one has got all the ideas. I think there are many ideas that can come out by working together. And you need the best of those ideas to take the sport forward. We're not the top game in the country, but we do have the best game in the country. So how do we get that higher level of support and a higher level of commitment? Let's listen to people. Let's get different people's focus, putting their minds to it, and coming out with the best ideas." Sir Hoyle also had a few comments about this year's Rugby League World Cup in 2021, as he believes it should be postponed. He said on that, "There is a great opportunity to take the game forward. The World Cup is going to be an anchor," he said. "How do we ensure that legacy is not for the short term, but for the long term?" Which is a great way to put it, and it's long-term thinking, which Rugby League seems to be a bit behind on. So we continue. "The government have invested very heavily in the sport. They see a future. We've got one chance here to get it right. So let's get the right people in." How would the review work? Let's get people from the media as well, because they've got a part to play. I always question why they don't give us the real status we need and the real support. It needs people from business and people from sport. Let's look at what Australians do. I'm not saying that they have all the answers, but they've certainly got some of the answers. Here's a great opportunity to take the game forward. The World Cup is going to be the anchor," he said. "How do we ensure that legacy is not for the short term, but for the long term?" Speaking on that advisory group, the independent panel, Hoyle also continued by saying there is a part to play for the all-party group, but what I would say is about others as well. It's about making sure we're pulling in other people. Passionate people watch Rugby League. We've got to expand the passion and the numbers. We've got to get the best around the table and get the best discussions going coming out with new ideas. On that point, Simon, with agreement with the Honourable Gentleman from Chorley, as he's right. Eyes on the prize means more followers, more financial backing, more sponsorships, more ticket sales, maybe even in an international game. Who knows? Might end up growing the game in multiple countries. That'll be a shot for the Rugby League, but it will mean that they'll have to put their hands in the pocket. What are they willing to do? Rugby League and Super League and all the other leagues? We just don't know, but we might hear some positive outcomes, especially with voices like the Speaker of the House of Commons coming out in the government, as they did get that big financial windfall from the government to help keep the game going during the pandemic. We'll wait to see more from all the parties involved. So on to the biggest story that's coming out of the NRL this week, and it's to do with Paul Vaughan of the St.George Illawarra Dragons. As you may know through previous videos, he threw the infamous house party where he and 12 other of his club mates had a time of their lives, which was broken up by New South Wales police. Resulting in massive fines of over $305,000 for the players by the NRL, $1,000 fines each from the New South Wales Police, and further repercussions from the clubs, including fines. But Australia prop Paul Vaughan has been sacked by the St. John's Illawarra for breaching the COVID-19 biosecurity protocols. So this all happened Saturday night, through Saturday day and Saturday night of the weekend just gone. Maybe they were celebrating the 13-12 win against New Zealand Warriors, which is a bit disrespectful as well. A house party during lockdown, especially when the New Zealand Warriors team can't go back to their own country or play games in the country. They've set up base here. Anyway, Vaughan, who was 30 years old, was dismissed the day after the fine of $50,000 came from the NRL and handed a season-ending 8-game ban. In a statement, the Dragons said terminating Vaughan's contract was a result of a number of breaches that included and predated the current matter. The twice-capped Australia international, who previously played for Italy at 2 World Cups, has represented New South Wales in State of Origin and had 1 year remaining on his deal. The NRL last week ordered teams to return to strict biosecurity level, meaning players and staff must stay at home unless training, playing, or completing essential household tasks. Again, the NRL handed out fines totaling $305,000 and 20 weeks worth of suspensions to the Dragons players on Tuesday night. Each of the players who attended the party, who will serve a 1-match ban, staggered over a 4-week period, where each fined an undisclosed amount according to reports, but a couple of days video ago saw those fines. I brought those fines to you, and was also fined by the club undisclosed amounts, also with all the money going to charity. They've also been ordered to do compulsory extracurricular club services. So while all this was going on, Vaughan appeared on NRL 360, in which he made an apology to the fans and this club. And while that was all going on, he said on social media, his own Instagram account, that it was stupid, unexplainable, and irresponsible. Stupid, unexplainable, and irresponsible. Then why did he do it for a second time in 2 years? That's not even 2 years, it's about 10 months. 11 months, because he did it last August 2020 as well, and was fine then. Yeah, there's so much that comes out of this that you look at it and you're going, you're crazy for doing it. What's wrong with you? As I said, he apologised on the NRL 360 for breaching the COVID rules in a 7-minute 38 address and interview. I feel sorry for everyone else in the area for this sort of thing going on. I'm glad the police got there and were able to find the players that were involved, especially with I won't say bed hopping because that's not true. He hid under the bed, DeBelling. It's crazy. The club themselves have not forgotten about the other players involved, and they have been punished by NRL and the club as mentioned. The club have said themselves that they haven't taken any of the 13 players' actions lightly, which is a good step towards a zero tolerance. The next one who's going to do it, they're going to be sacked like Vaughan. So this part of the video is about Oldham Roughheads RLFC, and it has some interest to Toronto Wolfpack and also rugby league fans in general, especially its successful time at Leeds, as it has come out that Oldham have announced Brian McDermott has joined the Roughheads as a coaching consultant until the end of the season. In the statement it says, Brian McDermott will come in immediately, making his first appearance to meet the players and the staff at the training tomorrow, Tuesday night, and will work closely with Brendan Sheridan as assistant coach. McDermott, who's 51, Super League's most successful coach ever, brings a wealth of experience to the Roughheads, who face a battle to avoid relegation from the Betfred Championships. He had led Leeds to win 4 Super League Grand Finals, 2 Challenge Cups and a World Club Challenge during his 8 years at Headingley, leaving in the summer of 2018. Shortly afterwards, he was named as the new head coach of Toronto Wolfpack and was at the helm in Canada until their top flight demise. In breaking the news this evening, Oldham RLFC chairman Chris Hamilton said, "This is a huge capture for the club, one that I'm sure will be massively welcomed by all concerned, especially our supporters. Brian is coming in as coaching consultant until the end of the season. He will be at training tomorrow night, and he will work closely with Shez. His marvellous record as a player and a coach speaks for itself. More than that, he is his own man, and that was very much part of the appeal in talking to him. I have always had a lot of respect for Brian, and I don't think we could have got anyone better in the situation we are in." On the appointment himself, Brian said that he and club chairman knew each other for many years. Chris and I go back a long way, all the way back to 1997. In fact, I have always held him in high regard for the way he has run the club over many years and for the way he has conducted himself in the chairmanship of the club. Due to unfortunate circumstances, Oldham find themselves in a relegation battle, and Chris asked me for help and advice. We met for talks, and I'm pleased to say I will come on board at the Roughheads as a coaching consultant until the end of the season. Matt Diskin will have put good systems and coaching philosophies in place. Of that, I'm sure, so I won't be coming in to turn the place upside down or anything like that. Sometimes a different voice, a new philosophy, and a change in personnel can make the difference. So, Brian McDermott going in from Toronto to Oldham. It is a good appointment if they can get it all together at Oldham, with his wealth of coaching knowledge and his acumen and his way of dealing with big players. is a draw, and I'm sure that they can recruit well to fit into the mould that Matt Diskin had left in place. And Brendan Sheridan has got an assistant that has won everything in rugby league. Well, in the Northern Hemisphere anyhow. So let's see how Oldham go ahead. It might be detriment to Swinton, which would be sad for me. But I wish Oldham and Brian all the best of luck. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share the video worldwide. I'll bring you as much content as I can bring you, and you guys, please tell me where we want to go with these channels. Yes, it's rugby league orientated, but who should we talk about next? We need to spread the word. We need to grow the game. And please get in touch. Have any ideas? In the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll catch you in the next video.